This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we've got a listener-sponsored review of John Carpenter's 1982 cult classic, The Thing. Plus, we react to the new trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and the first trailer for the Flash movie, as well as all the trailers and TV spots from this year's Super Bowl. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, February 13th, 2023.
Oh, hi, I didn't hear you come in. This is Ross Marquand from The Walking Dead, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Now, if somebody could please explain to me what a geek boner is, my life would be complete. Until then, rock on, nation.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hiyo, what's up, listener? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us fresh off of his Super Bowl halftime performance, dancing with Rihanna as one of the sperm dancers, it's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I thought I was going to penetrate, but then I got in and there was already a baby in there. He said, get the fuck out of here.
I didn't read into that. That's what the conceptual theme of that show was, right? Once I realized she was pregnant, I was like, oh, there's sperm.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? It's like, it was a lot of sperm.
I mean, they were wiggling like sperm. They're like air humping. At the time I was like, this
They had
is weird.
little tails.
I didn't
They're weird.
It was hard to tell she was pregnant until I went to Twitter later and everyone
Really?
was like,
The whole time we were like, she's pregnant. She's going to reveal she's pregnant the way she looks.
there was something on my screen, like it was so red that like it was blowing out the
First
colors.
off, what are you
and the
doing watching the
pixels.
Super Bowl?
Oh, what? There's nothing else on. I got to watch the big game. There's tons of trailers. That's why. But I love the halftime shows. And all in all, the Super Smash Brothers, Mario Brothers set was great. And I thought she did a
That
great
set
job.
was crazy. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
I was just waiting for the headline the next day. Pregnant woman falls from platform at Super Bowl halftime show.
I got to get handed the fucking, that to her. She had no fear going on that
Yeah,
thing.
she's going up and down. I was waiting for like Bowser and Mario to jump across the fucking thing. It was good though. I didn't even watch the end of the game. Apparently it was exciting. Whatever. I built.
Great game.
Great trailers, which is going to lead us into our new segment. Let's go.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
As we discussed last week, I got about 10, 11 trailer, big game spots, trailers, 30-second spots, full trailers here. We're going to run through a huge showing. I can't remember the last time we've had this many trailers at a Super Bowl. Like all the studios were buying in this year.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that signifies, but there's a lot of movies coming out this year also that have been delayed. So that was wild.
Well, COVID's over. People are going back to the theaters. They're trying to revive this whole shit. So let's get people back into the movies. Let's get everyone excited. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. They were releasing these things on YouTube before they aired. Every commercial break had something, and they were like, watch the full trailer on YouTube. It was hard to keep up. So let's start with the Dungeons and Dragons spot. I'm just going to go in an order. We're going to save the big ones for the end.
Right.
Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves coming out March 31st. Anthony, let's start with you. Comments on this trailer.
So Dungeons and Dragons is a card game?
It's a tabletop role-playing game, the original kind of...
Basically set the tone for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Big
I've heard
role-playing
about
game.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks okay. I don't really know. This one I don't really understand in terms of what it is. So a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
Looks okay. I mean, it just looks like any other big blockbuster movie. That's the problem with something like this.
Yeah, it's pretty bland.
A little generic. This one showcasing a lot more action than the other trailers that showed some of the humor, but I thought the action should look kind of cool, but it is kind of generic sword and sorcery.
Yeah, just you want to know. It's just I don't know what they're trying to do here, and it's just like either they're trying to simulate what it's like when modern people play the game by having everybody like not be old school in the way that they're presenting themselves. Or I don't know. It just feels too modern to be something in that era or in that fantastic world. It's like it seems like it doesn't gel. It seems like it's almost like a comedy when you do that.
I mean, I feel like there's going to be a lot of laughs. It seems to have a lot of the issues that Willow had for me, where they're just speaking in like modern vernacular, the kids, and it's a good point.
Verisimilitude, whatever that fucking word is.
Verisimilitude is the word.
Verisimilitude.
I mean,
Verisimilitude.
yeah. I mean, you got to be talking like crazy fantasy world talk. Anyways,
I don't know. With Game of Thrones, doesn't it ground you when you see that?
Well, you got to hire all British people though, first of all, because it just makes a difference when it's a British person when it comes with a British accent. But this one, whatever. I'm probably, I'm not going to go see this, but they're plugging it. So throw it in here. 30-second spot. A lot of action. Let's move on to Adam Driver fighting dinosaurs millions of years ago in the 65 spot. Anthony, have you seen the trailer for this before? Have you heard about this movie?
I saw the trailer in a movie theater for, I think, Black Panther.
Oh, okay.
And I was confused then, and I'm still confused on what this is. I mean, it looks cool. It looks not as generic as what we saw previously, but also somewhat similar to everything we've seen previously. I don't know what it is. I don't really know what they're going for here. It looks intriguing, though. I'd say that.
Seems to be a story of Adam Driver and this girl in a spaceship travel back in time 65 million years, crash land on Earth, and have to fight dinosaurs. It looks like the best Jurassic Park movie I've seen in a while. Ruggs, what do you think about this? You excited for this?
Excited. I will watch it. I just think it's a cool idea. Let's see. It's probably going to be a okay movie. So, am I excited? Not really, but it looks like it's definitely something I'll watch when it comes out on streaming or when I can get it on Amazon, something like that.
I wonder if he's like the first human and then like it changes the pattern of man, or he's the reason. I don't know, because like now there's spaceships and weapons 65 million years ago that got left behind.
It's an interesting concept. I mean, isn't there cowboys and aliens or something like dinosaurs and cowboys or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys and Aliens is a movie that
there's
came out
cowboys
with
and
Feige.
aliens, but there was Cadillacs and dinosaurs or something. Wasn't there something?
Yeah, it just reminds me of that concept for some reason, but like something futuristic in the past, like Prey.
Yeah,
like, that type shit.
Yeah. The dinos look pretty good, though. So that's coming out March 10th. Moving on, we got a full first trailer for Fast 10. This is a big one. Anthony, I'm going to let you start this one off because I admittedly haven't seen all the movies. I've seen Hobbs and Shaw. I meant to go back and brush up on my Fast filmography. I haven't done it yet, but this is the last Fast movie.
No, I think the second to last.
Oh, are they splitting 10 into two parts? Or I thought this was the last one. I thought 9 and 10. Or they're going to make 11.
No, they're doing an 11. I think even the trailer says this is the beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
Or something along those lines. It says, the end of the road begins is what the tagline is.
Oh, that Boyz II Men song is wonderful.
It's a great song. Yeah, it is a really good song.
Anyways, Momoa is in this. He's been added to past movies. What the fuck is going on here, Anthony? What do you think?
Well, I'm not the Fast expert either. I stopped after 7, and I one day intend to get back into it because I do have a guilty enjoyment for all of these movies. I still think I would say Fast 5 is one of the all-time great action movies. Yeah. I'll throw that out there.
Yep.
I think Momoa was supposed to be in Fast 5. They add him retroactively.
Yeah, that was going to be what I said. Is all of a sudden Momoa was in Fast 5, except he wasn't. And
they got Paul Walker in the trailer. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, yeah, they're referencing Fast 5, but they've got, seeing as I haven't been following, I mean, John Cena is Dom's brother, who's a good guy, and Han is back, and Jason Statham's character and Han are talking to one another. All that being very confusing if you haven't been following, and maybe just as confusing if you have been following. 2 comments.
Yeah,
one,
I don't think it makes any difference.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. 2 comments, though. One, I mean, they're going all out. That's a hell of a... You look at that trailer and you go, there's like literally every big name action, male and female you got in here. I mean, you've got all the guys I listed. You've also got Charlize Theron, Michelle Rodriguez. You've got Brie Larson's in this. I mean, there's so many things going on. Such a long trailer. And so in that sense, I'm like, this looks kind of awesome only in a fast universe type way. Also, big missed opportunity to not name this one just called Fasten.
Fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah, exactly. Like fasten your seatbelt. Like that's a huge miss. So that's what I think about
Instead, it sounds like the name of a anti-diarrhea medicine.
Louis Leterrier is directing this one and the next one. That's interesting.
Shit, both of them. He did the Hulk.
Quick trivia. What superhero?
The Hulk, man.
The Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Ed Norton Hulk. Yeah,
Ed Norton one. Yeah, which was well directed.
Yeah, one of the first.
Not the best story, but well directed.
One of the first MCU movies. All I've heard is that Fast 9 was horrible, so I feel like they're trying to get back to basics. And again, it's actually about car racing again. I noticed.
Somewhat.
I don't think so, but whatever. It's the fucking Fast and Furious.
Ruggs, favorite moments from this trailer? You got any?
I was just happy that they were like back in the cars at a race, and I was like, oh, they're at all the hoopla of the girls dancing around the cars and stuff. I was like, okay, that's good to get back to that.
So apparently, Momoa is playing. He's the son of the guy in Fast 5.
Okay,
so he's playing Hernan Reyes, who was the villain in Fast 5. That guy's son.
Oh, they show him briefly, yeah.
But what's kind of funny about this is that character was Brazilian, or supposed to be Brazilian, and like Momoa is very puts it in your face that he's very proud of his Hawaiian heritage.
Right,
so it's like, oh, you got this Hawaiian guy playing Brazilian.
Whatever, Brazil, Hawaii, same thing. It's
Whatever.
fine. John Wayne played Genghis Khan.
What they're doing, I mean, they're pulling all the big names. I mean, outside of The Rock, when there was The Rock and Vin Diesel, everyone wanted to see that. I don't know if people really want to see the Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa, given how old Vin Diesel looks or is. But Jason Momoa is still a big name, obviously, and a big, a physical, imposing guy. So there you go.
What was he wearing though?
Yeah, I don't know. Some kind of very flamboyant.
He had some weird shit on his face.
My friend Ed goes, why does Vin Diesel look like he has an Instagram filter on his face the entire time?
Oh,
because he does.
That's where most of the CGI work happens. That's why.
He's like a weird shade of orange, like a soft, like a very smooth shade of orange. They're trying to
it's definitely some kind of a filter that
they're like filtering out his wrinkles.
You're just missing the Gal Gadot, but I heard apparently she's dead. But you can bring her back, right?
He'll probably bring her back.
Nobody dies. And the other people saying Statham being in this is kind of a fuck you to The Rock, because
as it should be,
because you got half of Hobbs and Shaw here. Where's the other half? I forgot which one is which.
I wish The Rock was in it.
Right,
I know that they felt they had a fallen out.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. I loved a couple of bits. I loved the little motorcycle hop over where he goes on the front wheel and hops over the little obstacle. That's dope. And then the whole car falling out of the fucking plane and then being fine and still going. And then car versus 2 helicopters. Come on.
Well,
come on.
The funny thing is that in the shot where the car jumps out of the plane, the car, like when it lands, it splits in 2. And then in the next shot, it's completely fine.
Yeah, the car gets how is
like,
this
I
car?
haven't seen that since like the A-Team.
It's amazing. Yes. Or Knight Rider, right? Yeah. It's very Knight Rider.
Cars would land and they would you totally be breaking apart, and then also the next shot they're like perfectly fine.
That movie Taken does that a lot in their car chases. Like the car is about to get crushed, and then it cuts to just it driving off. Like it's fine
without a scratch.
Without a scratch.
One more comment from my end.
Yeah,
I don't know if it doesn't make any sense. Obviously, we know Jason Momoa's character wasn't in Fast 5, but that is the best movie in the franchise. So for them to call back to that movie seems like it would be smart.
Who
knows if it'll play out well, but
it could enhance that movie or make it like what the fuck, totally ridiculous. But May 19th, this one will hit the theaters. Listener, let us know what you think of some of these trailers. You can join the conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Jock and Nerd. There is a link in the show description. It's a closed private group just for you, listener. Join it today. Okay, let's move on to Scream 6. Put out a real quick big game spot, another 30-seconder with more scares, and like this movie looks good. I love the trailer, that first trailer that came out, and this one continues to seem like it's like a really fun, tense slasher movie.
Looks like it's quality. Doesn't look cheap or flimsy. So I'm interested in for the first time in Scream in a long time. So
right, yeah, me too. I got to catch up and on the other ones. There's like a hall of Ghostface costumes in here. That's kind of like a shrine. That's kind of crazy. Similar to a shrine in one of the other trailers we're going to be discussing. Anthony, Scream 6 what does this do for you?
Scream's always been a pretty solid franchise, in my opinion. I'm not a horror guy, so I've only seen the first 3. I haven't seen the last 2, but I'll echo all your guys' thoughts. Apparently, Scream 5 got a lot of really good reviews, and the franchise was really revitalized after that. So, yeah, it looks good. Look, I'm sure horror fans were very happy. I'm sure Gerald Morris was in his underwear dancing.
Yes, he was like, woo! Yeah. So that's coming up March 10th. There's so many fucking movies coming out in the next few months. It's crazy. Let's move on to this one is fun. The Super Mario Brothers movie kind of did a swerve, and instead of like a trailer, they put out a commercial for the Super Mario Brothers plumbing company, and with a very recognizable theme song. Did you recognize this theme song, Anthony? I'm going to ask because you probably did it.
I mean, I recognize the tune in the background. I don't recognize the
rap
people
part.
singing it.
No?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ruggs, you remember this.
Yeah, I remember that. That's from the Saturday morning TV show, I believe.
This rap was in the beginning. It was called the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Hey, paisanos, it's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
It was in the title theme song, and I was singing along with it. It was a cartoon, but it had live action segments in between.
Was Captain Lou Albano in that one?
It looked like it. I was going to look it up. I didn't get to that point. It looked like it was Lou Albano playing.
I think it was
Mario. That's the one. I forget who played Luigi. And that was the theme song. I was like, holy shit, they did the theme song from that 89 show. What'd you guys think of this? It was clever. That website is actually real, too. You can go to...
Yeah, you call the phone number. And
the phone number's real.
Yeah. It's like an old school ploy.
You can go to smbplumbing.com, and it's their fucking Super Mario Brothers plumbing website, which is amazing. Great viral marketing. Anthony, did you get a kick out of this?
Hey, I mean, I'll give them credit in that they did something different, right? You know, with a Super Bowl season where you have a lot of different trailers fighting for attention. Instead of releasing a conventional trailer, you just do a fun little commercial like this. And it was one of maybe 3 or 4 commercials overall that I remembered the most out of the Super Bowl. So
out of these trailers or all the commercials?
Out of all the commercials.
What were the other ones that you remembered the most? What stuck out?
There was 2 that were really sad about dogs.
Oh,
which really hit me.
Yeah,
just because
the dog that they show your whole life and then
the dog going old with you.
My God.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was terrible.
Because right now, our dog Joplin, she's 13 and she's having issues, and it made me think of her, and I was like, oh fuck.
That was a terrible commercial. I wish they never showed that one. It's for dog food. So they did that one. They did another dog one. I don't remember exactly what that one was. The amount of money that the Jesus Lover commercials spent on. There was 2 he loves you Jesus commercials.
Yeah, that I thought was crazy too. I was like, okay.
That was interesting. And then the one that I think got everybody, including us when we were watching it, was the Tubi commercial.
I was gonna bring that up. Apparently everybody freaked out because
everyone freaked out. I literally was like, wait, who the fuck is playing with the remote right now?
Shit. That's awesome. I love when they do that. Yeah, like the Tubi navigation popped up and it was changing, and people thought they
Yeah, they were scrolling around.
Didn't Marvel do that first in She-Hulk, or did someone else do that before?
They did in She-Hulk. Yeah, they did do a version of that in She-Hulk. So
on the last season,
they ripped Marvel.
Yeah, I like that.
That was clever.
That is breaking the digital fourth wall right there. It's great. All right, that's good. There were some memorable ones.
But this one was up there with all those.
Okay. Super Mario Brothers theme song. Check out that theme song. I just played it, and I was like, oh, it brought me back to being I totally watched this. Okay, let's move on to Transformers Rise of the Beast Super Bowl spot. This is coming out June 9th.
Yeah, when this one came on, I was like, Is every commercial going to use like Biggie Smalls in there?
He did seem to be everywhere. They're still using the Biggie Smalls track.
Yeah, I believe it looks pretty good. I remember the Mirage Transformer not being a Porsche.
Oh.
And I think that was Jazz that was the Porsche. So that kind of pissed me off that they like used Mirage when it should have been Jazz. But
well, that scene where it duplicates itself makes sense now. It's Mirage. But again, I love that you could see the fucking car parts. The designs look so much better, and I feel like Anthony Ramos is very will be a good relatable point of view character, similar to how Haley Steinfeld was in the Bumblebee. Anthony, comment on this one.
This one actually I found to be pretty generic. Didn't have much of an opinion on it. The biggest thing about it is the Beast Wars stuff, and they didn't really focus on it. So
No.
I was like, oh, this one's kind of a miss.
Yeah, they just showed that same shot of the gorilla one
Right.
pounding his chest, and a lot about Mirage. So,
yeah, they said his name twice.
I know, they
Like,
kept
I'm
saying-
Mirage.
oh, speaking of saying things, how many times did they say fucking family in that Fast 10 trailer? Like 3. I was counting. It was like 4 times. They said fucking family. We get it.
That's what it's all about,
You
baby.
got to say it every 30 seconds.
That's what it's all about.
So that's coming out in June. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Did you get any kind of a geek boner over this?
I don't know. The title still makes me think of Dial Soap. Every time I read it and say it, I'm like, Dial of Destiny. What the fuck? I thought it was funny where he's like, I'm getting old. Remind me again. Are you still a Nazi? Like, that's kind of funny. And some good de-age shots. I'm still in. It looks fun. I don't know.
I have like no desire to see this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's James Mangold. He's falling out of a plane with Phoebe. What's her name? Waller Bridge. Is that her name? I'm still looking forward to this movie, June 30th, even though it was all right. Anthony, do anything for you?
The only comment I have is my friends who I was watching this went, "Oh, they're making another one of those." And
Another one of those.
That was it. That was all I got.
What did
The
he
common response.
What did he mean? Another Indiana Jones movie? Or
Yeah,
just
just
something
another
else?
Indiana Jones. I was like, "Oh, they're doing that? Oh, all right."
Dr. Jones. You got Sala. You got Sala in there going, "Go Indiana."
Yeah, it's just tough to. I mean, I think James Mangold's a really good director. I like the Indy character. I like Harrison Ford, but I mean, we know that Harrison Ford is like 80 years old. It's just tough to imagine him as a swashbuckling adventurer. like
Unless
this. It's
half the
tough.
movie is like a flashback with the DH.
which they've done. Yeah, they have teased the de-aging a lot.
Yeah.
So
So I'm looking forward to that. But this is this is officially his last Indiana Jones movie. So I think it's notable. Anyways, that's in June. Next one is a movie coming out real soon. Creed 3 Super Bowl spot coming out March 3rd in a few weeks. This one not showing too much, but Anthony, did it get you more hyped for this movie? I'm looking forward to this movie.
I wouldn't say it got me more hyped, but the movie's coming out, I think, pretty soon. This one's
Yes.
also in March.
March 3rd, first weekend in
Yeah,
March.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't say it got me more hyped, but I've been whelmed throughout the entire Creed saga here and this trailer. So, I'm in.
Ruggs, comment. This one do anything extra for you?
No, I'm gonna see it. But the trailer didn't really do much. The previous trailer that I saw was more exciting than this one.
It was. This was a real quick kind of thing. I just feel like Jonathan Majors looks so much fucking bigger than Michael B. Jordan. It's astounding. I mean, they're similar, but I feel like he looks a little bit bigger.
Well,
He's
that's
fucking
irrelevant in Rocky lore. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
jacked. Drago was
So,
bigger.
That's right.
Clubber Lang was bigger.
Even Drago Jr. was bigger.
Yeah. But it's all about speed and agility
Right.
and your walk-on music, which is very important.
That's also very important.
Okay, let's move on to this trailer for this movie. I didn't even know this was coming out, and I threw it in here because it was one of the Super Bowl spots. It is for a movie called Air that shows the history of the shoe salesman that got Nike to brand Michael Jordan, who bagged the Michael Jordan account, which is, first of all, that sounds like a great story. They dealt with this a little bit in Winning Time, that HBO show about the Showtime Lakers. In that show, I guess it turned out Nike went to Magic Johnson first, and he turns them down and goes to Puma. So he could have been the first guy with Nike, and he passed it up, which is wild to think about. But holy shit, you got this directed by Ben Affleck. You got Affleck and Damon reuniting.
Right. But my first reaction was, this is like a SNL skit.
Do you think so?
It didn't seem like a real movie at all. I'm like, okay, when is the joke? When is the commercial? Like, what was this for?
Or a
Nike commercial?
Right. It could have been a Nike commercial. No.
And I was like, wow, this is really long for a Nike commercial. And I'm like, oh, it's a real movie? Get out of here. This is not real. And I found out that it was
it's real. Affleck's playing Phil Knight. You got Viola Davis playing Michael Jordan's mother. Anthony, did this give you a geek boner at all? This looks fun.
My friends are pretty hyped about this one. I have to admit, I'm a little more reserved on it. That being said, if it's good, I'll probably watch it. And this might be one of those that the Oscars picks up.
Yeah, I mean,
Ben Affleck directing.
It's coming out in April, so like it'll be
Ben Affleck is Phil Knight, Matt Damon is Sonny Vaccaro. Those are big names within the sports industry. So.
Chris Tucker, Marlon Wayans also in this movie. So
a lot of big names.
Yeah. Sonny Vaccaro is famous. He's the salesman, right? Who convinces Jordan's parents, I believe is the story. No, I love shit like this, like historical sports, biopics or whatever you want to call it. Just like Winning Time was amazing. This looks fun. And
Affleck, he's the guy that signed Jordan in the deal.
Okay, he signed Jordan, Sonny. But yeah, just like the beginning of an empire and making a brand out of Michael Jordan.
It made Jordan a brand. It made Nike what it is today. I mean, Nike was big, but it wasn't that big until Michael Jordan came around. They made a shoe on a guy. They decided to make a shoe for a guy that hadn't even played a pro game yet.
Right, yeah, he brings that up in the trailer, and I was like, oh, this is a fucking great story. Jason Bateman also in this, Chris Messina. April 5th, on my birthday, this comes out.
Your 57th birthday.
Yes, my 75th birthday. Hey, I look pretty good for 64. Whatever the fuck age I am. I forget, I stopped counting. Anyways, okay. Let's move on to the two big ones. We can spend some time. The first one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, a new trailer, second trailer, a full trailer. But this one really hitting home the idea that some or all of these people are not surviving this movie. There's many lines in here. They also say family. This movie is also about family. Anthony, take us through this one. What'd you like in this one?
I thought it was a solid trailer. I mean, it didn't show. It showed, some other stuff. I thought the first trailer for this was better, to be honest.
Okay.
Than this one, in terms of sparking the emotion. This one focuses a little bit more on the plot with the high evolutionary. It looks like he's the main bad guy.
Yes.
I mean, I like the Guardians franchise, and this is Gunn's last Marvel movie for now.
Yep.
So,
and the team's last.
I'm
movie.
in. I mean, I wouldn't say I was blown away, but they didn't need to do much to get me interested for this.
I like the high evolutionary bits because I needed to know a little bit more. And they explained that what his mission is to create the perfect society. And you see him kind of.
Well, doesn't it like that? But then they say he wants to create the perfect, but he's like, he just didn't like.
Yeah. Then Rocket says it's not about being perfect. He just didn't like things. But you see him experimenting on a young raccoon. And a lot of lines about, I'll ride with you to the end. We're all going to fucking die together or whatever. Ruggs, what'd you get out of this? Anything?
If they all die, it'll be the best movie ever.
Well, do you think they're going to kill everybody? Does anybody survive?
I don't know.
They're on record. Batista's on record as saying he doesn't want to do the role anymore.
He gone.
I think Gamora's actress, what's her name again?
Zoe Saldana.
She's on record as saying she doesn't like doing these anymore.
Oh, she gone.
So she might be gone.
And then you can kill Rocket and Groot.
Those are the two that might stick around.
Oh, you could, because you could franchise that. What about Peter Quill? You think Chris Pratt's done?
I think they get him. I think what you do is you do some sort of storyline where he gets to be happy with Gamora and they get to live the rest of their life together.
I mean, there's a shot in here where they're all walking and Nebula it looks like she's carrying Pratt's body.
Yeah, that's a red herring.
Of course. Okay. That's what I think.
Yeah.
But that's the same like where the what's that place called? the Celestial Nowhere. Yes, we saw it in the holiday special. That's their base. I thought it had some funny lines where he goes, I fell in love with a girl, she died, and then she came back a total dick. And Nebula's like, that's about the gist of it.
Yeah, and was that on the Super Bowl commercial on like primetime dick?
No, well, I think they did the thing where they showed like a 30-second spot and they were like, go watch the full trailer.
Okay.
Right? Because in that 30-second spot, there's that scene where Drax is trying to get comfortable on the couch. He's lying down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
And Peter Quill's like, that's not a bed. He's like, I find it hard to believe it can't be for multiple things. He sits up. I also love the end bit where he's staring at Nebula and she's looking at her eyes and she's like, my father put these in and tortured. He goes, well, he picked a pretty set.
Well, yeah, he says, I just noticed how black your eyes are.
How black they were. They're so pretty. And then you get a quick shot of Adam Warlock like fighting Drax. It looks like, the big farewell for the Guardians. This one's gonna be fun. May 5th, Volume 3, and that brings us to the big one, the movie nobody thought was actually happening. Holy shit, it's happening! I'm talking about the new Batman movie that for some reason they've titled The Flash. What? I don't know. That's kind of a misnamed movie, whatever. Yes, the fucking Flash movie put out its first trailer. This movie is actually happening. And I have a lot to say. Who wants to start? I'm going to start with Anthony. Let's go. After all the hubbub and all the drama, we've seen it.
I will say right off the bat, this trailer looks pretty awesome.
Dude.
I thought it looked great.
Yes.
I was pleasantly surprised. There was a lot of rumors that they'd cut out Keaton, and maybe they had rumors they cut out Affleck. I don't remember really. I know there was rumors they cut out Keaton, but this looks like a fun romp. They're touching upon some DC stuff that we've seen on screen, Man of Steel and Keaton's Batman, and there's an interesting, storyline of him going back to maybe a timeline where his mom is alive and he has to convince his other self that that's wrong, and maybe that they have to get rid of his mom in that timeline too. It just looked like there was a lot going on, but it looked fun. It looked nostalgic. It looked properly kind of epic for what they've been telling us it's going to be. I mean, I don't know if it's the best movie of all time, like Gunn just said, but he didn't say that. But he said he was really good.
He said it was the greatest comic book movie ever.
There you go.
He did.
I don't know if it's that, but
could be.
I was pleasantly surprised by the trailer, and it went from making this movie something where I was like, this movie's coming out, I don't really care, just get it out so Gunn can start his universe, to now I'm going, oh man, maybe they got something there. So mission accomplished.
I mean, a few weeks ago we talked about our 3 most anticipated movies of this year. Ruggs, you had this at number 1. I had it at 3. It has now moved to number 1.
So the whole idea was it's going to be a trash fire no matter what. But you had Zaslav give it a pass. Now this dude was like scorching the earth at DC at Warner Brothers, and he left this one alive. Yeah. So I was like, okay, what does that mean? Then Gunn comes out, obviously going to give it good lip service, but seemed genuine in a way when he said it. I was like, could this be true? Could this be good? And then we see the trailer. So right now, if they're masking this thing's a piece of shit, they're doing a great job.
They're doing a damn good job.
So they've managed to kind of circumvent a lot of the problems. They put Keaton really up front in this trailer.
Smart.
Makes you think it's a Batman movie.
Yes, might as well be.
They did some cute shit there. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. And they even kind of give you the whole Supergirl thing. It's like they're in a world where there's no metahumans, and then Zod shows up, and then finally they go, oh, there is a Kryptonian here, and they go and bust her out, and it just ends up being Kara.
Yeah.
So
and she looks badass, dude. I watched this several times. I kind of dig everything about it. The suit.
Well, you're the big Keaton Batman guy.
Well,
right?
yeah. Aside from that, let's talk. I thought if the Flash suit looks a lot better. I did not like that other one that we saw in Justice League. This suit looks dope. The 2 Barry bit reminded me a little bit of Back to the Future, but also you see the scenes from Flashpoint, the comic from 2011, and this is like the 3rd time They've done this on the screen. There's an animated movie. They did it on the CW show. And now we got it live action. You got the ring with the suit in it. That's great. Fucking Zod, Michael Shannon looks amazing. And yes, Michael Keaton's back. He says the fucking line.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
He says the I'm Batman line. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. That's fucking amazing. He looks amazing. The suit looks amazing.
They have the music cue too, which is really nice.
The Danny Elfman music comes in, and I was all in. I was like, "Oh fuck, they got me." And Affleck's Batman is in here, and spoilers.
So why do you think there's two Batmans?
Well, if there's two Barrys, if he goes to another timeline,
I think he went to another timeline.
That's this timeline's Batman, and where there's a Supergirl, and I thought the Supergirl Sasha Calle looked great. She probably won't get to continue in the movie that Gunn is planning, but
maybe he's in. Oh, this makes sense. So maybe Batfleck is in the current timeline where the Flash is before he decides to go into the other timeline.
Right, that's what I think.
Yes,
the previous timeline.
Yes, that's in the beginning.
I think that's what happens where he goes into another timeline, sees that version of Batman, also goes to another timeline where Zod is attacking, but it's not Superman, it's Supergirl.
You think those are three different timelines?
I think it's just two.
I think it's just two.
I don't know. I mean, then you'd be implying if it was two timelines that Michael Keaton's Batman and Henry Cavill's Superman are in the same universe.
Well,
or not Henry Cavill, but
Henry Cavill.
No. In that universe, what I get is that he says there's no metahumans. Yeah. So the only person that's around that's fighting people is Batman.
Right.
So they go find Batman, and then Batman's like, probably knows, Batman knows everything.
Yes.
That there's a Kryptonian and that's locked up somewhere, and he goes and frees her.
Yes, that's what I think was happening too. Like, Batman.
Well, the only thing is maybe it's very possible.
I think that's the universe where Kal-El never made it here.
But then the Zod thing looks so familiar to the Man of Steel.
That's Man
universe.
of Steel. Like, I think the ship is the same.
I think it's supposed to like look exactly like.
But
what
then
happened.
It's Keaton's Batman in that. Did they like? Are they saying that Keaton's Batman in the future had a Zod show up?
Like,
so maybe there's the same Zod in both timelines.
Right.
Just different things happen.
It was cool.
Yeah. It's possible spoilers. Did you hear this? According to Grace Randall.
Wait. Is this known spoilers?
I mean, she tweeted it out.
Okay, tell us.
I know it already.
I'm going to hit the spoiler alert button.
It's really not going to change your life.
It's not, but it may be spoilery. She says there is a possible third Batman in the movie, and that it may be George Clooney.
Oh. Shit.
Well, there was one shot where they were on the Bat Cycle, and it honestly looked like
Bale's
Batman, because I don't remember that Bat Cycle being in either of these versions.
But the cowl looks like Affleck Batman.
No, that's the Batfleck universe.
Yeah.
That's in the regular Snyderverse.
There was a Bat Cycle? I don't remember that.
No, but it's Batfleck.
It's Batfleck. Yeah.
Probably.
We probably didn't see the Bat Cycle, so they're just going to introduce one. But did you notice his suit is like blue and gray? It looks kind of dope.
Right.
It's the first time we get to see like a blue and gray suit.
Well, that's post Justice League Batfleck.
Yes. After all that shit. No, and I even love the funny tag at the end where Kara introduces herself and Barry's like, "We're Barry." June 16th, you also see the 89 Batplane. And if there was another TV 30-second spot that had a little bit of extra footage in there, you see Supergirl kind of float over to Zod to face off with him. You see a room full of Michael Keaton's bat suits. You see Supergirl going, "What did you do?" And you see the 89 fucking Batmobile, which is dope as fuck. So I can't wait to see Keaton back as Batman. It's amazing. Couple of fun facts about this. Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash on October 15th, 2014.
Holy shit.
1 week after the Flash TV show premieres. The movie coming out June 16th, 9 years later, and will be 1 month after the Flash TV show airs its last fucking episode.
Wow.
That's quite a journey.
All I got to say is they went hard on this trailer during Super Bowl, and I think it worked because although a lot of people are going to be talking about Batman, It's got people talking.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, a lot of casual fans don't even know that Ezra Miller's had all this stuff happen.
That's true.
And when I was watching it with a bunch of casual fans, when they saw Keaton on the screen, they're like, wait a minute, he's back as Batman?
Yeah.
Like, that alone got a lot of people interested, I think.
I think it was smart to heavily feature Batman. I think you're right. I think the majority, maybe, we're not following all the drama. And they're just like, oh, fuck, Keaton's back. Another fun fact, 34 years ago, in 1989, when the first Batman came out, it went up against that summer, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. They're both battling it out again 34 years later in the theaters. Batman versus Indy, which is, I don't know what year this is, but 89 was a great year for fucking movies. Yeah, I'm all in. Okay, so having gone through all of those, let's, Anthony, you wanted to rank these. Who wins this game?
Yeah, maybe not a full ranking, but just
Super Bowl trailer. I think
the top two. Let's do.
I think the winner is obvious and easy for me.
Yeah,
it's the fucking Flash. Absolutely, the Flash all the way wins this thing. Everybody's talking about this. It's fucking. It's great.
I'll put it like
it's Guardians and Flash for me. Like those are the two that stuck out as.
Yeah, I would say the Flash. Guardians stood out for me. I think the Super Mario's Brothers one, just for how creative it was.
Yeah,
and I thought the Fast 10 one stood out.
Oh yeah, that would be. I would put that in third,
just because of how over the top it was. Everything else was fine, but those are my standouts.
Yeah, I agree. I guess
I think those three did win. But man, a lot of fun stuff across the board coming out in the next few months to keep us busy. The Flash, dude. Yeah, I can't wait for this movie. This is the Danny Elfman music. That's all it took. I don't care. Show it to me now. All right, let's take a quick break here. We're going to play some promos and come back with another listener-sponsored movie review. This one's from the 80s. It's a lot of fun right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dig on America.
Your organization's terrible.
Hey guys, this is Jason Dutch with Dig on America podcast, and I'm here with
Big Hops.
Do you have to say your name so weird?
How you want me to say?
And I'm also here with
Mikey Famine,
the excuser.
Do it over. No, it's staying.
No, it's staying the way it is because this is the way the show is. Dig on America here, we explore how American history, policies, and sometimes even our pop culture created the social and political issues facing Americans today. A little bit about us.
I'm your resident brother of the league. I love America so much that I demand she be better through constant criticism and protest. Thank you.
And in your Obama voice, Mikey, I don't like Obama.
Of course you don't. You also don't like bathing and healthy meals. What Dig on America is it's a healthy criticism of a country.
America's already perfect. You should know we're perfect just like my hands.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might say that, but those people probably haven't gone to school or brushed their teeth today. So, we're going to ignore them. But yeah, check out our show. It's unbeholden to any corporate overlords, except for Jay-Z, the Bilderberg Foundation.
George Soros sponsors.
George Soros, the Clinton Foundation.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget Emotep.
You can check out our website, digonamerica.com. You can check out all of our audio. We're on every single fucking audio podcast app there is out there, Pandora, Spotify, etc. Subscribe on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/DOA podcast. Hopefully you'll listen to the show, guys.
I won't.
Go fuck yourself.
Dig on America.
Jock and Nerd. Listener, if you enjoy the show, join our fun Patreon fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And you can give back and support the show on a monthly or annual basis. And you get benefits such as an exclusive RSS podcast feed where the show comes out early, bonus content. You can come hang out with us once a month on our fun Discord hangout where everybody gets drunk and has a good time. Not everybody. But we geek out, lots of fun, and you can, this month, it's next week, Thursday, February 23rd, 8 p.m. I'm going to keep reminding people. And there's a tier where you can choose any movie to force us to watch and review, and we've done 2 of those in the past 2 weeks. We're going to do one more. this week. But if any of that sounds like fun, head on over jockandnerd.com/Patreon, link in the show description. Okay, this week's Patreon sponsored review is of the 1982 John Carpenter cult classic called The Thing. We're going to do The Thing. Here's your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
And this one sponsored by, dedicated to Patreon supporter Jay Davis, who he's been a patron for 47 months. Thank you, Jay Davis. And he wrote in saying, after hearing the Jock hadn't seen The Thing, I think that is one I'd like to see y'all review. I never looked at a dog the same way again as a kid. I didn't understand that at the time, but now I absolutely understand what he's talking about. On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is at an 84%, 7.5 out of 10 average rating, 92% audience rating. The movie was made for $15 million, and it went over budget. So for 82, that's a lot of money for an R-rated.
Oh, $15 million?
$15 million.
I didn't realize it cost that much.
Well,
wow.
It wasn't supposed to. I believe the budget started at like 8, and we'll get into it. The effects and such things ended up costing more money. And it only made $19.6 million in the box office. Kind of a critical and commercial.
People hated it.
Flop there. Yes, but goes on to attain cult status and notoriety on home video and wherever it's streaming now. This one is directed by the great John Carpenter, who you may know from such things as The Fog, Halloween, Escape from New York, and Escape from L.A., They Live, Big Trouble in Little China, all those fun movies. Written by Bill Lancaster, screenplay, story by John W. Campbell Jr., and it is the story is based off this 1938 John W. Campbell Jr. novella titled Who Goes There, that was turned into a movie in 1951 called The Thing from Another World, and that's where we get the title of this one. They just reduced it to The Thing. Starring, it's got a great cast, young-ass Kurt Russell in the lead as McCready. Wilford Brimley's sans mustache was very strange to see him.
Pre-diabetes.
Brimley without a mustache. I didn't even recognize him.
He probably has diabetes.
Oh, I'm sure he had it there. It's just more controlled. Keith David, who is in a lot of Carpenter movies, along with Kurt Russell, one of Carpenter's favorites. You got as he plays Childs. You got Richard Masur as Clark. T.K. Carter as Knowles. This guy was everywhere in the 80s and 90s on TV. I saw him all the time on Punky Brewster, 227. He would do a cameo in all these shows, The Nanny, Moesha. I was like, I know the guy, a different world. Fucking T.K. Carter has been in everything. He's great. We also have David Clennon as Palmer, Richard Dysart as Dr. Carper, Charles Hallahan as Vance Norris, Peter Maloney as Bennings, Donald Moffat as Gary, and Joel Polis as Fuchs. Oh, and Thomas G. Waits with the greatest character name I've heard in a while, Windows. Just Windows. It's great. I love it. There's your main plot. Anthony, have you ever seen this movie before?
I had not, no.
That's your main characters, I meant to say, not plot. What I meant to say to you is give us the plot of what happens in The Thing.
The Thing is about some dudes up in Antarctica. I guess they're studying stuff down there. And they're from America, and they come across some Norwegian people shooting at a dog for no reason. And they get into a little conflict with these Norwegian people, take in the dog, and all of a sudden shit starts to go sideways, and they encounter an alien that can mimic them, and they're dealing with the alien, but they're also dealing with the mistrust of not knowing who's who and who has the thing in them. So
who's the thing?
Paranoid alien horror sci-fi film.
It's clobbering time. Not that
it's not that
not
big.
that
It's not Ben Grimm. I thought it was gonna be. I thought this movie was gonna be about Ben Grimm. I was very
Oh,
disappointed.
Blue Eyes. Yeah, sure.
This is also Gerald Morris's wild card pick, the one I think that got him a lot of votes that put him over the edge in our science fiction tournament.
Yeah,
and it is a sci-fi movie, but I feel like this is the first horror movie we've reviewed because it is
first
probably
horror
not.
movie we reviewed?
No, we did Prey. That's a horror movie.
Is that considered horror? I mean, this is clearly
sci-fi horror.
Sci-fi mystery. Okay, maybe you're right. But
I would say this one leans. This is the most horror leaning one we've done.
Sure.
So, Anthony, let me ask you this. First time watching it in
Other than that Wolf
2023.
Guy movie, what was that?
Oh,
Wolf
yeah.
Cop?
Wolf Cop? Yeah, no, that was, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Bestiality.
That was more bestiality. That was Wolf Dick. How were you feeling once the movie was over? Did you enjoy this?
I watched this for the first time the other day, and I've seen a decent amount of Carpenter films, and lately, especially with this, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, They Live, now this. I've seen Halloween, I've seen Escape from L.A.
Yeah.
So I've seen a decent amount of Carpenter films. Never seen this, and after I turned off this movie, I went, it was damn near a masterpiece. This is the best Carpenter film I've seen.
I fucking
One of the
loved
best
it.
films I've ever seen. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. No one sets a mood or an atmosphere with just the way things are shot and the music choices like Carpenter. This is definitely throws you right into it. The paranoia, you totally understand why everyone can't trust each other. It's a horrifying thing. Great practical effects. Ending that just makes you question, what even happened.
Yeah.
And, just all-time film.
You know what? I have to concur. This is the first time I actually watched this myself, and I was like, oh my God, this is a fucking...
Oh, wow, you've never seen this movie?
No, I'd heard of it, and I'd never sat down to actually watch it, but all the same shit, dude. Great tension, great paranoia, confusion, mistrust, love the creature effects, grotesque and clearly practical, but like disturbing and moist and wet and drippy. Everything
Holds
you
up, too.
wanted. I mean, you got men on fire stunts, like amazing. And the script is very good. You get all the characters. It gets right into it. I could see why people love this movie. Ruggs, what's your history with this movie?
When I was a kid, I used to hang out with this guy who watched all these, like, he was a film major type dude. And he made me watch a bunch, like Clockwork Orange, all these fucking crazy ass movies. And this was one of them where he's like, you gotta watch this movie. And he had it on Laserdisc, I think. And he was like, you gotta watch this movie. So I sat down and I watched this film and I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was like a good, solid movie, but I didn't realize how good it was at that moment. Like, as I said, sometimes you need to watch something again and and put it in perspective of all the stuff that's come and how, like, ahead of their time these effects were and how, like, just the mood, the music. John Carpenter did it all. I didn't really realize that he was, like, kind of in the mix making this film, even writing it and all that. He had a hand in everything. So, I was really, really impressed with it. I was like, wow, this really is better than I remember it being. And I can't say that for a lot of movies. Sometimes when I watch something, I might really liked it. I'm like, God, it kind of sucks. But this was good. Like, Kurt Russell was good in it.
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley was good. My favorite part of the whole movie, my favorite thing in the whole movie, is the computer.
Oh,
that
the
Wilford Brimley,
simulation?
that tells him, like, what's going to happen in the future. I'm like, where the fuck is that? Like, what is that computer, like, knowing all this shit?
It was a very specific computer program, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like percentage of someone being infected around you, 75%.
I can remember, I'll tell you one thing. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, well, if the alien wants to get to whatever, just get in the helicopter and go. Like, why is it's destroying everything? Like, it had a lot of opportunities to just get the fuck up out of there and go to other people, but it didn't do that. I was like, that was weird. But I guess he can't ride a helicopter if it looks like a dog.
Well, I think it's smart for it to be a dog, and the whole beginning is wild because I'm like, why are you shooting at this dog? I was like, run, little doggy.
I was thinking that the same thing.
I was like, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? Don't leave that dog alone. And then the fucking Norwegian guy blows up his own helicopter by accident. And the funny thing is, if you translate that Norwegian, he actually gives you the whole plot to the movie right there up front. So if you were a Norwegian and watched this, he goes, that's not a dog, it's an alien, get away from it, he's going to kill everybody, basically is what he said.
You know what? I kind of blanked out and I forgot the whole thing where they went to the flying saucer.
Yeah.
I forgot about that whole scene. I thought it only took place in that remote area. They never left it.
I mean,
for some reason they blocked that out.
It's cool. It starts with, an alien spacecraft kind of burning into the atmosphere. And you don't realize, that's probably like hundreds of thousands of years ago, like they said. But then that dog, I was like, it's brilliant for this thing to be a dog because no one's going to mistrust it. What were some of your favorite scenes? Can we just start with the dog transformation scene? It was fucking wild.
Oh, all that spaghetti that comes out of it is crazy.
God, the tendrils.
Yeah, but that one, I mean, I wouldn't say favorite. I don't think I would describe any of the alien scenes as favorite, but
impressive.
Well
yeah,
done.
definitely impressive, and definitely you just feel bad for all the dogs in there. It's like, oh my god, this thing's shooting at all these dogs.
Shooting dogs. He was a beautiful husky.
That one dog's trying to like break the fence with its teeth.
That was a great little detail. Like he's making a hole big enough, and then the thing starts like pissing on him or something, and absorbing him.
Yeah, it shoots something at him, like whatever that is.
That scene is crazy. I mean, there's so many different scenes, but that one,
when the guy's head comes off, it becomes like
head comes off and starts crawling away upside down.
That whole chest chomping scene was also like these fucking practical effects were so impressive. Do you know what they did for that scene? I read a little background. They hired a double amputee for the close-up shot and put fake arms on him so that when the thing clamped on his arms, he could just pull back and rip the arms off. And I think for a quick second, you see that guy like flailing around. So like no green screen CG computer effects, right? You had to do all this mechanically.
Yeah, you had to be really resourceful.
Well, that not only that, but that also gives the actors something to actually look at.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, they feel like they're there. I also did a little research and I read that or heard that Carpenter on set made everything turn down the heat to make it 40 degrees.
Yes.
So they actually felt like they were in the cold.
Yeah. They filmed some of it in Alaska and then on refrigerated sets to get it cool. So let's give props to the guy who did the creature effects. His name is Rob Bottin, and he has worked with John Carpenter on The Fog and this movie. He's worked with Paul Verhoeven on RoboCop. He did Total Recall, Basic Instinct, and he worked with David Fincher on Seven and Fight Club, as well as Inner Space, Legend, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And yeah, just utilizing actual like rubber and liquids and holy shit, the shit looked amazing.
Yeah, I was blown away. I was like, man, this movie's in 82 and the only scene that really doesn't hold up is the beginning flying saucer scene in space.
Right.
That's about the only thing. Everything else.
Yeah.
I watch it and I go, wow. Like even the scene where they see this flying saucer in the ice. Like I believe that's a matte painting.
It's probably a matte painting, but it looked good.
And it looked good with them crawling in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a good sense of dread when Wilford Brimley talks to the computer and it's like the whole world's going to get taken over and you're like, oh shit, like they can't let this thing live. They have to like stop it at all costs. And then you realize that's what the Norwegians were doing. Or were they Norwegian?
They were Norwegians.
Yeah, Norwegian,
yeah.
Because what did Kurt Russell think it was? It was
he kept calling it
Swedish.
or like Danish.
Swedish, yeah.
It's like they're Norwegian.
He doesn't know what the fuck they are.
So here's the question I had about the Thing. If you're the Thing, do you know you're the Thing? And were there more than ones? I kind of loved how it didn't really have a form. It was just kind of, you'd see it assimilate like a dog, like a head would come out of its body. It had people head and dog heads. It was just made up of these forms of things that it assimilated. But I wasn't sure that like, if you're the Thing, do you think you're the Thing?
I think it just tries to survive. I think that's the whole gist of it. It's just doing whatever it takes to survive. So when it is inside of human, it's doing enough to not be noticed to survive. And then you notice when he like lights up the blood.
The blood test scene is great.
Yeah, there's like individual parts of it that just all want to survive. So that's why the blood runs away or the head runs away.
Yeah.
Or even when they notice that there's no situation of getting. So Wilford Brimley's character destroys all the transportation.
Yeah, and the communications.
Right. So then the Thing realizes that there's no way of getting out of here, but the only way to survive is to fucking freeze and go back into a deep freeze again.
Oh, right.
Right? So
yes. If we wanted to freeze itself.
Whether it knows it's the Thing or not, it just wants to survive.
Yeah, that blood test scene was great because, like, I love that the tension was great. Who's actually going to be the Thing? And, you know, how it turns out he shot two dudes that weren't infected. And then that dude, was that Bennings or was that, I forgot who that character was, that when he fucking comes out as the Thing and they torture him and he starts eating windows. Oh, great effects. And I mean, a lot of subtle things I love. Like you hear they're playing Superstition by Stevie Wonder. First of all, great song. Second of all, very appropriate for the theme of the movie. just the paranoia and the mistrust between everyone was so great, so well done.
I read too that in the first scene where you can see the dog going into the room with the shadow, they purposely cast a guy for that shadow that actually wasn't in the movie.
Oh,
so that you really couldn't. You could kind of imply who it might be, but it wasn't actually anyone's profile.
Yeah, and Brimley's character starts to, suspect Clark because he spent a lot of time. He was like the dog handler. But man, I never thought I would see a movie like I loved Uncle Doobie, Brimley on Wilford Brimley on horseback with a fucking bow and arrow. But to see him wrecking shit with a fucking axe was amazing. I never thought I'd see Wilford Brimley just smashing
at that point,
things.
He's not the Thing, right? He's just gone nuts.
Yes, because he knows.
He knows what the probability is of this. But then at some point, he becomes the Thing.
At the
end. Somebody as the Thing goes and visits him, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's how he got
that's
out.
When he's building the flying saucer.
Yes. I thought to escape or to get frozen, but that's when he escapes. It's creepy. Like, the whole movie is so bleak and nihilistic and dark. Like, he has a noose there. He just put up a noose. He's like, just in case.
Carpenter's movies, a lot of them are all like that. I mean, the only one that I've seen recently that wasn't nihilistic like that was Big Trouble. Like
That's
They
true.
Live has
They
a
Live
very
was like that, yeah.
dark tone. Escape from New York has a very nihilistic tone. Obviously, Halloween is a very nihilistic tone.
I've never seen The Fog. I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, I got to watch The Fog. And I've seen the remake of Precinct on 13, which I liked. Assault on Precinct 13. I had to watch the original because that's Carpenter as well.
Oh, that's John Carpenter too.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie's fucking great.
So let's talk about that ending. The ending was a shot. They shot multiple endings and tested, and he ultimately leaves it ambiguous. Childs, Keith David, and McCready, the only two surviving.
Mm-hmm.
We are led to kind of believe maybe Childs is the Thing, and I guess they ultimately just die in the cold after blowing everything up. Was Childs the Thing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Okay. I think the point is,
I mean, it's
ambiguous.
a fun thought exercise in that I think he could have been the Thing as well, but it's more about the fact that these guys just all the mistrust that occurred because of this thing has now just left them in a situation where everyone. I mean, it's just they're all dead.
They made a remake.
You know that, right? So it's not a remake. It's a prequel.
It's about the Norwegians before this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. What happens to the Norwegians? How they try to stop the Thing?
Oh shit!
The only thing that was holding me back from thinking this was a masterpiece was there was one scene where at the end where it's Russell's character along with the two guys. I forget what they were, the captain and the other guy.
Was it Gary?
Yeah, where they're setting up all the bombs to blow up everything, and they split up, and I'm like, why would you split up? You all know that each other is not the Thing.
Yes,
you should all just do shit together.
Yes, you tested the blood. That's true. But
so that was the only thing where I'm like, these characters acted dumb in that moment.
What's funny about that?
Inexcusable.
You're right. Gary goes off, and then Blair Thing grabs him and like shoves his hand in his face. It's so disturbing. Right. And then if you notice, Knowles goes looking for Gary. And he just disappears, and you never see him again. I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
He got thinged as well.
He got thinged. He got absorbed, probably, right?
Yeah.
It was just odd. I was like, what the fuck happened to Knowles? And then the great end scene, and the final form of this thing is great, where the dog comes out of the stomach. There are some clues in that very last scene that you can deduce. So if you notice, McCready, Kurt Russell, you could see his breath clearly in the cold. And when Childs is talking, you don't see breath. You see a little bit, but that could also be lighting. But you could read. There's also something Carpenter said about the highlight in people's eyes.
Yeah.
If they don't have them, they're the Thing. And there's also the fact that McCready offers him to drink out of his bottle, his beer, and he takes it. When earlier they were like, everyone should make their own food. Nobody drink from anybody else's thing. So if he was the Thing, he wouldn't know or give a fuck, and he takes a sip.
Yeah, those are good clues.
Also, they survived, and he probably needs a drink. So it could go either way, but I kind of love this ambiguous ending that will people have been debating this for fucking 30 years or 30 plus years.
Ruggs, gun to your head. The Thing, sci-fi or horror movie?
Why can't it be both?
I know this is why it's both. But what if you had to pick one genre?
It's more a horror movie than a sci-fi movie, but I mean, you can make a case for both.
I mean, it's got aliens.
I would agree with you.
Aliens and
horror.
spaceship. That makes it sci-fi inherently.
I think it's more horror. I think,
but you can take that whole
sci-fi.
thing out and have the same movie, though.
Right. I think the it's built around the scares and the body horror.
Yeah,
and all that. It just has the alien.
Like you can make the
enacting it.
same movie and say that instead of an alien, it's a demon.
Right.
Right. It could have been something from the Earth was a parasitic form coming out.
Yeah.
But
it's built around the paranoia that it creates.
Yes.
Of being the shapeshifter.
And
it's fucking good, man.
It's interesting because this is 1982, right? The height of like the Cold War, and it just he's reflecting the paranoia, the mistrust. What's interesting is the movie bombs, and he's actually said that he felt it hurt his career, it hurt his confidence. But looking back, he does say it's one of his favorite movies. After this, he loses the job of directing Stephen King's Firestarter. And Universal buys him out of his multi-picture contract. And
we have to keep in mind, too, that this movie comes out the same year as E.T.
Not just the same year, a fucking week after, like 2 weeks after E.T. And like
so everyone's on the good alien
Yes.
vibes, and then you throw this alien movie where it's disgusting.
and it's bleak and dark, and this is
people just didn't get it, just weren't ready for
Well,
that.
I mean, the first Alien had come out. I figured that would have set the tone, right?
79, but
You
this
would
is
have thought, yeah.
This is Reagan's America. Everything needs to be hopeful and whatever.
Well, I mean, the concept isn't original. Like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers is the same thing, and there was the thing from outer space. Oh, they're all like the same kind of doppelganger movie. Just this one has more just abject horror with the monster like absorbing the body, and you're seeing it like in detail. So
I also have to imagine that just a lot of people, the first time you see the thing, it's fucking dogs up.
Yeah.
No one wants to see dogs get fucked up.
And then he goes and kills all the dogs later, and I was like, oh my God. They're fucking shooting dogs. They're killing dogs.
No one wants to see that.
It's dark. It's also, you know what else came out the same week this came out? Fucking Blade Runner. So
Oh, wow.
it had a lot of competition in different areas.
That's good to know, yeah.
and Blade Runner didn't do that great either. I don't think it got.
No, that was also probably rated R. But no, E.T.
Neither did Conan the Barbarian. None of these movies, Poltergeist maybe.
Dude,
and
82 was a great year for movies.
But like all of these movies that you're calling out here,
yeah.
in this list, Tron,
Mad Max
like
2.
that was not a big hit.
Yeah.
Conan,
Gandhi also came out this year.
Oh
wow,
yeah,
Tootsie, An Officer and a Gentleman.
82.
Like Tootsie was probably the biggest
Rocky
movie of the
3,
year.
48 Hours, The
48
Poltergeist.
hours, First Blood, Stallone.
Yeah.
Or Rambo, First
Yeah.
Blood.
82
Wow, what a year.
is a big year. If we're
Star
gonna do
Trek 2, Wrath of Khan,
yes.
82.
Listen, if we're doing year movie drafts and tournaments, 82 and 89 definitely have to be in there somewhere. And then we got to do like an 86 or an 84. There's a bunch of
Grease.
years. Yeah.
Halloween 3. Wow.
Yeah.
This
Big
is a
year. 82. Sophie's Choice.
The King of Comedy, 82.
Officer and a
Fast Times at
Gentleman.
Ridgemont High.
Fast Times came out in 82. Yes. This is an amazing year
Maze and Monsters.
for movies.
The Toy. Wow, this is a great year.
So
What a year.
Yeah. No, that's a
Yeah, I guess there was just a lot of competition too,
Well,
right?
yeah.
And at that point, doesn't seem like there's a lot of movies like The Thing, and it just people just weren't having it. It's weird when people when movies have a life of their own after. I always find that interesting.
Yeah,
I just think if enough people know it's good, they show it to other people. Like, you gotta see this fucking shit, and then it just becomes a home video thing.
Home video, and it was on TV a lot, and I think they had a different ending, but it is on. It's very influential. Lots of filmmakers citing this movie. Everybody from Guillermo del Toro, J.J. Abrams, Neil Blomkamp, Quentin Tarantino, and you'll find it on the many lists of best sci-fi horror and best movies of all time. In fact, Tarantino. So and Ennio Morricone does the music, even though Carpenter he's a composer and a writer. Ennio Morricone, of course, gave us The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Right.
And Tarantino gets him to do The Hateful Eight. And that movie, he also brings back Kurt Russell. There's a lot of paranoia and mistrust in that movie. It's all citing The Thing. He also said The Thing was an inspiration for Reservoir Dogs, which I can kind of see, I guess there's a lot of paranoia.
Because you don't know who the cop is.
Yeah, there's a lot of but we know. But there's a lot of paranoia and mistrust. I guess we find out later. But he repurposed music from The Thing for The Hateful Eight also. So
score is really good in this too.
Oh yeah, the music
Just
definitely
very simplistic, but sets the mood.
Ennio Morricone's great.
Yeah, I mean as I said earlier, I think it bears repeating. I haven't seen very many filmmakers in this journey with you guys that can set an atmosphere like Carpenter can.
And like
There's
right away,
some sort of dread.
Yeah, you feel it.
What he sets
Yeah.
up.
I mean, Escape from New York has that same kind of
thing.
feeling. Oh my God. And it's just like this fucking anything's possible. Anybody could die at any time.
Escape from New York, I mean, it almost feels like there's this scene where he's in the building and people are like coming out of the walls and ceilings.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
It's like Last of Us and shit.
Yeah.
Before Last of Us. $50 million budget, $1.5 million was spent on the creature effects. And like I said, it was shot in Alaska. So they filmed multiple endings. There was one ending where McCready is rescued and he tests negative for being the Thing. But Carpenter was like, it's too neat. I want to leave it ambiguous. The TV version adds a narration and a different ending where this I don't mind, where the Thing becomes a dog again and you see him escape the camp at the very end. I kind of wouldn't have minded that. Like these two die in the cold and then you see one of the dogs run off and you're like, oh, fuck. The Thing is still out there.
I think that the way that ends in this is great.
Okay, yeah.
The reason I say that is it ends in a way that
anything that you want it to be can be.
Really.
Yeah.
It just kind of ends, and you're just like, yeah. As Rugg said, it can be whatever you want it to be, but all that you know is that those two men are dead. Even if one of them,
right, they're not going to survive.
Yeah,
but if
whoever
one
survived didn't really survive.
Right.
But if one of them is the Thing and they freeze, then that Thing got what he wanted.
Then the thing lasts until another person comes along.
Also, to save money on production, the burned out Norwegian base was actually that base they were in after they blew it up.
Oh, wow.
They filmed that for the Norwegian base. I was like, oh, that's pretty clever. That's pretty clever. Yeah, John Carpenter does in 2011 say that this is his favorite film from his filmography. And he's like, if the Thing had been a hit, my career would have been different. It's quite possible. But it was, the country was in a recession. It was the wrong time. People wanted hopeful.
It happens, though.
Happy shit.
It was wrong time, but like the right time. Because now you look back at it and you go, man, that was made in 82?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They had those practical effects and it still holds up. And you have Kurt Russell in his prime and what's his name? Childs' character?
Keith David.
I mean, just by the end of that film, I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's super rewatchable, right? Like I could
easily rewatch that.
Yeah, I was watching clips on YouTube of just all the fucking Thing parts and like admiring the craftsmanship put into the fucking effects. They look amazing, and they got like 4K versions on YouTube that look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's short to the point, super rewatchable. Dark Horse Comics publishes a couple of sequels that have starts right after the film McCready in the 90s. And then, 2011, they made a prequel about the Norwegians. And then
there's also something about, and this would happen a lot in the 80s. There's something about having a bunch of men in a confined space that are actually scared of something.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's no women in the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like similar thing with Alien, although you had Sigourney Weaver. You also have a similar thing with Predator. There's something about men being hunted by something and actually being emasculated by something that is kind of intriguing.
That they don't understand. Yeah.
They're just like, oh, fuck. Like, what do we do?
Like the Predator, yeah. But very enjoyable movie. Of course, I've mentioned this before, the iconic Drew Struzan poster image of just a guy in a coat and a parka and light coming out. This iconic poster, I may have mentioned the story about how it was created before. I had the story a little bit wrong. Here's the actual story. Drew Struzan tweeted about it. Basically, when John Carpenter was getting ready to promote The Thing, he needed a poster right away Struzen tweeted, quote, I conceived it, painted it, and my art was delivered to the studio all within 24 hours. In fact, when they put it under the glass to photograph, the paint stuck to the glass because the thing was still wet. It says here, Struzen hadn't even seen the movie when he drew the poster. He wasn't even given a rundown of the movie before crafting the image. The studio just told him to recall the 1950s movie, The Thing, and they gave him no other detail. And they're like, we need it tomorrow. But that lives on. It's one of the most iconic posters you're ever going to see.
It's a great poster. I mean, I knew about that poster for years. What's good about it too is even though you look at the poster, you don't really know what the thing is going to look like.
Right.
But then you look back at the poster and you go, I can kind of see it.
It totally fits the mystery of the movie.
It just makes the mystery go, oh yeah, that fits the mystery.
There's no actors in it. There's just something that an image that intrigues you, and he fucking nails it with the light.
It's a great poster.
Yeah, and the fact that he just fucking whipped it up in a day.
I mean, light doesn't shoot out of anybody's eyes in it, so you might be a little bit misleading. But
right.
I mean, he didn't have anything to go on, so I can't really fault him. Yeah.
Sometimes it's better when you just just make a thing. Make a thing. Everybody got thinged. Almost everybody. But yeah, no, I'm so glad, Jay Davis, you made us watch this. Fucking great movie. Let's rate it. And I guess you can rank. You already kind of ranked it amongst Carpenter movies, Anthony. But what would you give it?
Yeah, I like it the best of the Carpenter movies I've seen. And I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. I would have
shit.
I would have had it a 10 if the characters didn't act stupid at the end.
But how else are they going to get thinged?
Just got to write it better. Just write it a little better.
It was doing such a good job too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a long part
it just goes into a weird slasher thing where the people act stupid and separate for no reason. Like if you're going to separate them, you got to come up with a better reason. That's all. But
I can see that.
Yeah, 9.5 out of 10, almost nearly a perfect movie.
I mean, the explanations, the science is great. The character, bits are great. Kurt Russell holding dynamite.
The fact, the red herrings, the fact that you don't really understand what's going on, the creature. I mean, the practical effects alone, just how creepy they look. I mean, you get they undo the body that's half burnt, and you got the faces all jive together and human organs.
I love that when he's pulling things out, and he's like, "This is all normal lungs." I was like, "What the fuck?"
The blood being taken. I mean, there's just so many things.
Oh, how about that bit where they think it's dead and it's covered with the blanket and you see it move in the foreground?
Oh my god, yeah, that's a great one.
And then the next time he's just incorporating that dude and the blood is dripping. It's almost perfect. Ruggs, what would you give it?
I don't know. I'm tempted to give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh shit, do it.
He doesn't do that very often.
No, I don't, but I think for this I'll do it.
Oh,
whoa.
Perfect score from the
Yeah,
Ruggs boy.
I feel like it's one of the I can't believe that no one went to see this movie or whatever. But I remember when I saw it when I was a kid, I was like, this movie's fucking unforgettable. Like, I can't forget. Like, and even though I blanked out a few scenes here and there, but for the most part, I've retained the whole entire movie in my head. And all of the gory shit. And it took me a long time to forget all this shit. Oh my God, when I was a kid, it gave me nightmares. So, it is, I would say it's near perfect, or for its time, I don't think you're going to get a better fucking scary horror movie with practical effects than this one.
God, if I saw this when I was a kid, it would have that would have been it.
Where do you have it amongst Carpenter films you've seen?
I haven't seen them all, but I would say this is one of my. Obviously, it's a 10, so it's probably my
top.
favorite.
It's got to be the best Carpenter movie. No, I agree with all you guys. I'm going to give it a 9. It is probably his best movie out of I kind of seen the same ones you've seen, Anthony. But
everyone would probably say Halloween.
Oh, you think so?
I think that's the one that's most iconic.
Yeah.
It's the most successful, obviously.
Yeah.
And it has a long franchise legs as well.
Yeah.
So.
And Halloween basically started a genre within the horror thing.
That's true. No, you're right. It firmly places itself in the pantheon of horror, franchises with the Halloween. But there's something about the thing that I don't know. It's just these creature effects are so fucking.
I mean, if it had boobs in it, maybe it would be
There's
better.
no women in the movie. Maybe that's the one thing it needs.
It does need that, I think.
But clearly a huge inspiration. You see, kind of stuff from this movie in a lot of these people's works, and it lives on. Great. Jay Davis, thank you for being a patron. and for the suggestion. 1982, a great year of movies. Okay, let's do some news from the nation.
It's time
for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I got an article here posted by our buddy Darrell, and it's something I wanted to bring up last week, but there was a lot going on last week. It is about AMC theaters change to movie ticket prices that is in effect now. Here from Variety, it says the country's largest exhibition chain is rolling out Sightline at AMC, a ticket pricing initiative based on seat location within the auditorium. Similar to music concerts, sporting events, or Broadway, moviegoers will have the option to pay more or less for admission depending on where they choose to sit in the venue. In effect, front row seats will be available at a lower price, while the seats in the middle of the theater will be available at a higher price. The initiative has already kicked off in major cities, New York, Chicago, Kansas City. Jess Rivera was posting some screenshots as he was trying to buy tickets, and you see that they're different colors in the middle now, and they're charging you like $2 extra for the middle tickets. I don't know how I feel about this. I believe they do this in like overseas in the UK. UK listeners, Australia listeners, let us know. I think I remember them doing it, but is it any different, to play devil's advocate, than a concert or a Broadway or a live show where you're going to pay more based on where you're sitting? Or is this fucking bullshit and unnecessary because it's not a live thing?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes it, first
I'm
of
sure
all.
no one likes it. I can say I understand it because there are better seats in a movie theater. Then people want to be in the middle, right? Or you want to be you don't want to be in the front.
No.
I come from a sports background, having watched a lot of sporting events live and in theater, and this is not, this is very common.
Right. But those are live events.
Right.
It's kind of a different thing. Now, part of me does agree the fucking front row seats should be way cheaper because you can't.
Like if you're going to go, let's say you're going to go to the movies on a fucking weekday, on a matinee or whatever, and you got to pay extra, there's nobody in the fucking theater.
Yes. What's stopping
it? Doesn't make any sense.
Here's the other question. Who's fucking enforcing this? High schoolers, teenagers? Do they fucking work there? What if you go and then you just move to the middle when the movie starts, there's nobody there? What are they going to do? They can fucking kick you out? Like, how are they going to enforce this?
No, they can't enforce it. They can't enforce it if it's an empty theater. If it's an empty theater, you buy the cheapest seat and you move back.
Yes, that's the play.
Yeah, I mean, people do that at sporting events all the time.
I'm already spending shitloads when I go to the movies because, like I'm trying to get the best theater experience. Like I'm leaving my house,
right,
my area of comfort to go in some fucking theater. So I don't want to go and just watch it on a regular screen. I want to watch it on the best screen, best system. So they're already getting a shitload of my money. Like how much more do you fucking want? Like really crazy.
So they're trying to do two things. First of all, I just think when you're trying to get people back in theaters after fucking COVID, this is probably not the best move because
they're not doing it that way. They're thinking about the fact that they have a certain amount of people that have come back.
Yeah.
And they got to squeeze out as much money as they can out of the people.
Or they got to upsell them to their AMC Stubs membership, because if you sign up for that, the extra dollars don't apply. You don't have to pay more.
There you go.
So they're trying to push people, which I've heard about the AMC Stubs. I keep seeing the thing. Can't be raves about it. Apparently, like for $20 a month, you can see like 3 movies a week. I mean, it's not a bad deal if you take advantage of it.
The only people that I know that have done that stuff are people that either watch a shit ton of movies or live by a movie theater. I have a friend that lives like right across the street from the movie theater, and they do it just because it's just convenient.
I don't think I would have time to see 3 movies a week.
I can't.
My theater is 5 minutes away. It's not that far, but I'm not going there fucking 3 times a week.
No.
When there's all this shit to watch on TV that I already paid for.
It costs $20, but can you $20 a month? But can you go and see like the high quality movies like IMAX and shit?
Yeah, I think you can see everything now. I think before it used to be like you couldn't see the good stuff, or you'd have to pay a little more. But I think now you can see everything.
They just want subscribers. They want that set it and forget it monthly money, and they're willing to take the hit if they could get you to subscribe. Yeah, I'm looking at Jess Rivera's posts. He says anything in the yellow hitting AMC with the preferred sightline fee, and you clearly see where it's marked. I swear that's how they do it in Europe. There's like a nice section. Anyways,
what I will say though is the one thing I liked about movie theaters is I like the assigned seating, which has been in place now for a while.
That is huge. That's
like first come, first serve. You know what I mean? But
no, but the fact that you don't have to get there an hour before and be stressed about where I hope I get the fucking seat
or stand in line.
Or, yes,
no one. I hated.
Remember doing that? We had to rush in, and it was a mad fucking rush.
I remember when I was in college, we would go to the movie theater like 2 hours in advance and stand in line.
You had to. We did that too, Ruggs. Right? We would go early and wait
for Star Wars for all of them.
Yeah. That's. I'm glad that went away.
Yeah, that's bullshit. This is kind of bullshit too, but I guess I see what they're doing. We'll see if it's successful and other theaters follow suit. Some comments from the group. Daryl K said, fuck that. Nick Shev says, you're paying for the experience, man. I added that. Dave Maresca says, and they wonder why people would rather just stream from the comfort of their own home. Kiss your business goodbye. What morons. And both Wes Cranford and Bruce O'Hughes say this is bullshit. Blake Braden says, bring back the rise of independent movie theaters, which reminds me, there's now an Alamo Theater in Chicago, Anthony. Did you know that?
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
It's in Wrigleyville. It's in that building. It's on like the second floor in that building, the new building across from Wrigley Field. And it's got a whole retro theme. Like you can rent VHS and DVDs for free. There's booze there. There's coffee. You can order food right to your seat, like pizzas and like good shit.
Oh, wow.
And I've always wanted to check out the Alamo experience.
You can drink too.
You could drink there. Yeah, I might have to go check it out. It's it's one of the.
Oh, I'm looking at, so just for reference, I'm looking at the movies they have showing there.
Yeah,
if you wanted to go tomorrow.
What do they got?
Knock at the Cabin. I don't know what the fuck that is.
That's the M. Night Shyamalan's new movie with Dave Bautista.
Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Okay.
Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Okay.
Megan.
Okay.
Infinity Pool Sharper, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, fun. They're playing Eternal Sunshine. That's kind of fun.
Interesting. I might have to go check this place out.
I've seen pictures of the inside. It looks super cool. And the Alamo is widely regarded as like one of the best independent theater chains across the country.
Absolutely.
And is there one in out east?
Yeah, there's one in Staten Island.
One?
Oh, there's one in Staten Island. I think there's one in New York now too.
Oh, there's one.
Have you been to one, Ruggs?
No, but I've heard nothing but great things about him.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, this AMC bullshit might push me to go to the Alamo. I don't know, but it's far from my house.
Do they have them in Florida?
I don't know. Where are the Alamo locations? The Alamo.
No, you got me intrigued by looking at this.
Yeah, dude, try to find some photos of the inside. It's
there's
super
three
cool.
in New York. There's one in downtown Brooklyn, one in Lower Manhattan, and one in Staten Island. Yeah.
They're in Texas. I know they started in Texas.
But the weird thing is they're showing mainstream movies.
Yeah, no, they do that. They do that, and then they show like fun movies.
So what makes it different? It's just the retro?
The retro vibe, the fact that you could drink and order food there, and it's nice. There's one in Boston.
There's one in Yonkers.
Lots in Dallas.
Wow, there's like four.
Whoa, Washington.
There's really like four near me. Wow.
Well, really?
So they show the old movies.
Washington, D.C., Denver, El Paso, Houston, Laredo, L.A., Lubbock, Texas, 3 in New York City, Northern Virginia, Omaha. Oh, there's one in Omaha, one in Raleigh, San Antonio, San Francisco has one, Springfield, Missouri, St. Louis, Twin Cities, Winchester, Yonkers. Wow, they're all over the place.
I guess they encourage more interaction, huh? So you can, those like movie parties. If you ever want to lose yourself a movie, cheer for your heroes, boo the bad guys, shout your favorite lines, sing along.
It would be a fun place to rent out for like a bachelorette party or a birthday party. But
bachelorette party.
Yeah, why not? No. There's booze there. You
fucking nerd.
Okay, maybe a birthday party. Maybe a 46 birthday party.
A bachelor party.
47. How old am I?
What kind of bachelor parties you going on?
I've always wanted to visit the Alamo, so maybe I'll get a chance. I don't know. There's not a strip club in there. It's not going to work. Anyways, listener, let us know what you think of these price increases. I don't like this trend. Let's finish with some what are we watching? Let's start with The Last of Us. We're up to episode 5. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Another fucking fantastic episode. This show loves playing with your emotions. It's heart-wrenching, gut-punchy. What the fuck?
Yeah, the only drawback I have is I just remembered the game in this moment of watching the episode, and I knew how it was going to end. But my friends who hadn't played the game or forgot were just mind blown.
I did not get to that part, and they introduce characters, make you invest in them, and then they fucking kill them. What the fuck? Holy shit! There's nobody safe except for Joel and Ellie, and even them maybe. No, they gotta be the only two that are safe. Henry and Sam, yes, they're from the game. You run across.
They are
them.
in the game.
Yeah.
That whole. I mean, they added a little more backstory to Henry and Sam. They changed up Sam a little bit.
Sam played by a deaf actor.
Right, deaf. They gave a little bit more backstory to the people that were hunting Henry, but I mean, a lot of that relationship and the gist at the end, obviously, the whole thing at the end is straight out of the game.
Jesus, that was shocking. I didn't see that coming, and I was like, "Fuck, god damn!" But Ruggs, what'd you think? Let's talk about that fucking scene at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was tragic.
Yeah.
It's almost like Rick from Walking Dead, where everywhere he goes, like fucking just tragedy and follows.
Yes.
It's going to be the same thing for this duo here.
Everybody they meet is not
Rick and Carl.
Yeah.
And
everybody they meet. But how about the whole action scene at the end with that incredible.
That was great. I think that what happened is all the gunfire had woken those fuckers up. And then
the truck crashes into the building and caves in, so that probably woke him up a little bit too. And that dude, that was a practical suit on this like 6'6" like bodybuilder dude. Apparently,
wow,
it looked amazing, and he's fucking ripping heads off. Oh my god! And just the way they come pouring out of the hole for like a long time. That was wild.
That was the whole moment, was like, they're never going to get out of this fucking shit. And then I'm like, there's too many of them. And I'm like, oh, here comes something. Boom. And all of a sudden the wave of infected comes out. And you're like, oh, okay, they're going to get out.
And I love how Joel's kind of playing a video game up there with the sniper shot.
Yeah, that's straight out of the game too, where
you gotta help
you're
Ellie
up in the tower. You have to go around while they're shooting at you, get up to the tower, knock the guy out, and then save Ellie by
clear the pad.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's great. That's so good. The fucking the girl clicker that crawls into the car, played by
that's
like
great
contortionist little girl, was fucking creepy as fuck. The whole thing, and then just fucking Kathleen, bearded guy, all of them, just fucking eat it. All done.
Good. I'm happy about that.
Man, I didn't like her anyways.
I didn't like her at all. I was the only. She was the only one. I was like, I don't like the way she's playing this role.
Like, oh, you're mad that someone that you cared about died? Like, everybody, everybody knows is dead.
What is the world you're living in?
Why are they following her? That was the only. I was like,
she seems unhinged.
Yeah, I agree. I do think also this episode signifies the loss of innocence for Ellie. You know, she sees Sam obviously gets shot in the head, and Henry shoot himself, but she also realizes this hope of her being the cure might not be the thing, because she rubs blood on him and it doesn't work.
Yeah, she tried to help.
Yeah, but that wasn't going to work.
No.
That was a great jump scare at the end. I mean, again, I didn't get to that part. I didn't see that.
They do that in the game too, where you're sitting there and he's looking out the window and you're like,
sitting there. You're like, what are you doing?
And then he just turns around and attacks.
God, that's great. So good.
It's a great episode. My everyone that watched it, and all of my friends that watched it that don't remember the game were like, "Wow, this is crazy. This is a crazy episode." That was a hard hitting one.
Yeah, it had a little bit of everything, in there, and the effects look great. So 4 episodes left. God damn, how much more can my emotions take? I don't know. They're just like, you can't invest moving forward. Like, you can't invest in any character. You don't know what's going to happen. So I guess they're going to leave. They were in Kansas City, and then keep heading west, I guess. To find this. He's still looking for his brother? Yeah, he's still looking for his brother. They're trying to get to the Fireflies. Something. I forgot in the game how much shit he carries and how many things you have to like craft and keep making constantly. And I'm like, how are you carrying all that shit? Fuck. You got a bat and a piece of board and a shotgun and a Molotov. Oh, the best is when he's got a Molotov cocktail and it's lit and you put it away. He just puts like the lit cocktail back in his bag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's a video game, Imran.
Come on, Imran, yeah.
I know.
Video games, you're allowed to, you can carry all sorts of shit.
You can carry a ton of shit.
and you can make all sorts of stuff really quick.
Yep.
And all you have to do is pick up a box with a red cross on it,
you're
and a
healed.
bullet wound goes away. Yeah.
You put a little thing on your arm and you're healed up. Let's go. It's great. But yeah, this show continues to amaze. I will say, Anthony, I have caught up on Netflix's Physical 100.
You watched 7 episodes?
No, there's only 5.
7.
No, the next one.
I watched
think
all
I did.
of them. Yeah.
I think I watched everything that was out. It ends
5 or
with
7?
the boat pulling, right?
Oh, yes, you're right. 5.
Yeah. So the next one, they come out on Tuesdays.
No, 6. It was 6.
Okay, I did watch 6. It comes out every Tuesday. And holy shit, this show sucked me in. There is a lot of like exposition of the characters. Sometimes like takes a while to get started, but they have to introduce you to 100 fucking people legitimately. And then it gets, but I'm thinking like the strategy. I'm thinking all the time, like, what would I do? It's so good. It's so good.
It is.
It's a great recommend. You caught up to Rugs?
I watched it. I felt like I didn't watch it in its entirety. I fast forwarded through a lot of it because I was like, I don't need to know any of this shit. Let's just see what they do. And I found it to be somewhat repetitive after a while, like because they could do a better. I think they could edit it better together, so you kind of get the gist of what's going on without making you go through the whole thing.
Well, the style is very like, I guess
dramatic.
Not only that, but like they show you things 3 or 4 times.
Yes,
and that gets really annoying.
Yes. But you know what? I got to know the characters, like Chun Sung-Hoo, that older MMA guy. I'm rooting for him and his.
You want to know what my favorite part was when they were jumping on the jumping on the blocks.
Doing the high jump.
Yeah, when they're just hanging out. I thought that was kind of like the best part of
That's
the whole
a total
thing.
CrossFit thing. They're doing the CrossFit thing. Who can have the highest standing box jump?
I agree with you, Ruggs. I don't like the way it's sometimes edited. They really draw stuff out with the amount of replays and.
But I do enjoy it. I watched all the competitions. I just fast forward through a lot of the. I felt like this could be way tighter and edited a little bit better.
I hate
the intriguing part of it for me. Sorry, Ron, real quick. What's intriguing for me about it is just the fact that you've taken all these different people from different athletic or entertainment backgrounds and you're just pitting them against each other.
It's wild.
Just like if they did that in the U.S., they wouldn't ever because the athletes here and the entertainers wouldn't want to put themselves out like that. But it would just be insane.
I mean, you have MMA fighters, gymnasts, dancers, fucking college students, skeleton Olympic athletes,
people in the military.
Tons of military dudes who are fucking badass boxers, crossfitters, female boxers. It's so compelling, and there's already characters that like I want to go through. It's great how they all recognize each other.
Yeah,
and how like they're famous. What I hate though, because in American television, when you're watching like a Ninja Warrior, the show has to come to an end. There's a conclusion. You finish the challenge. You finish the obstacle course. But because it's filmed, they fucking leave you hanging at the end. And I'm like, oh, you fuckers. Now I got to watch the next episode because I need to know what happens. But pulling that fucking 2-ton boat. You see how long it took them? They were fucking 12, 14 to 18 hours of work. Are you kidding me? Of exertion?
I think, I think the challenges are interesting. I feel like one of the biggest highlights for me is when the guy's like, I want to fight you MMA style.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Was great.
And I was like, oh, they're doing it. They allowed it.
That was fantastic.
That was awesome. The one guy he fights is Chung Soon Hoon, who's
that guy's badass.
Yeah, he's a legend in MMA. So
I want him to go far.
He's 47 years old, but he's a legend. And the other guy's a young MMA fighter. And that was when that happened. I paused it, sent it to my friends who were watching the show. I'm like, this is awesome. Love that because what's also interesting for me beside the body types and people just playing off against each other is you can see how different Korean culture is, how much more respectful everyone is.
They're so polite. They're so polite.
Whereas like the Americans, if this was an American show, like all the dudes in that one-on-one battle would have picked a girl. Like you just pick a girl, you beat the girl, you go on.
Yeah.
Where all the dudes or most of the dudes were like, no, I want a tough challenge. Yeah. The one girl picks the big rugby player. She's like, I want to fight that guy.
Right.
It's just they're much more, just a different culture. You're just getting a glimpse of like more of the honorable Eastern Asian culture.
There's no smack talk, right? Normally you'd have smack
hardly
talk.
Any.
There's no
Even when they smack talk, it's very respectful.
They apologize before like boasting. They're like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna win. Like every time they say that, it's so weird. How about that dude with fucking tree trunks for thighs?
That guy's insanely
That
huge.
guy's
I've never seen a guy. That guy's so
are
big.
Huge. He's so big.
But he is like short too. But
He's
he's
short,
like,
but
he's
once
kind
he
of like
got on the
Wolverine.
ball, when he turtled the ball, I was like, oh, there's no way you're moving this dude. It's
So
done.
who do you got to win, Anthony?
I like who Imran said, the Chung Sung Hoon.
Yes.
I just like him.
I like him
I don't know
too.
if he's going to win, but he's MMA fighter, 47 years old. I also kind of like that he's somewhat relatable. Yeah. There's the scene on the bridge where he's clearly afraid of heights.
Yes, he's crawling.
So he's crawling.
Everybody else is running.
What about Iron Man? What do you think about Iron Man?
Oh, Bin Sun, something like that.
Yeah,
the good looking guy.
Yeah,
he's good too. I mean, he's super athletic. I don't like him just because I just don't like the guy that looks like he has it all.
Dude, the girl who led the last team of 5 and ended up winning, Jun Sin, she's fucking fantastic.
She's a wrestler, yeah.
Yeah, and that was great drama where it was like the last pick team fucking takes him.
Wins.
Yeah. That was so great. I was like, oh my God, I hope
they're up against it though in this next challenge. There's
so we've gone from
4 or 5 women.
Oh.
Well, they haven't done the 2 1.5 ton boat yet
for that third team. Yeah, I think they're gonna lose. There's no way that team is pulling that boat. Maybe, but it's gonna take way too long because that's a heavy boat.
Well, who do you think had the better strategy in that? Do you think all pulling or lifting and pulling?
The first team, I think, did it a lot faster.
Yeah, I think they did it faster.
The lifting and pulling on the side, it looked like it went faster.
And I think they had a better strategy getting it up because it looks like the second team is just pulling using the rope, but the other team is rope
stuck.
and pushing.
That's where we left off. It's not budging. They're so close to putting that rope on the thing, and it stops moving altogether. But the second team put the barrels on a lot quicker, but they fucked themselves with the pulling.
Yeah.
The first team, distributing the force around it and lifting like that seemed to go really well. But then you could stop and move the fucking logs and go. I was exhausted just fucking watching this. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Jesus. So it goes from 100, then we go down to 50, then we're down to 25, and then
just imagine though if this was America.
Yeah.
If this was an American show, the kind of athlete, it would be like LeBron James, Vin Diesel, The Rock, Jake Paul. Like that's the kind of people that it seems like they have in
the
Korea.
Singers that would be fit. You could throw CrossFitters in there and like Michael Phelps and shit.
Exactly.
It would be wild. It would be wild.
It'd be absolutely wild.
I can't believe there's so many fit people in Korea. It's unbelievable.
I mean, I don't find that hard to believe at all.
That part I don't find. It's the fact that they got these people to do the show and throw away their ego.
Yeah.
Because like that one prison guard, it's just like completely emasculated by the wrestler.
Oh yeah,
that giant prison guard. Where I was pumped for that matchup when it was the big wrestler versus the big prison guard.
Yeah,
and he's just tossing him around.
He's like, I thought it was something.
Oh yeah, he was scared.
Yeah, he was getting his ass kicked.
Yeah,
or the one dude that's like the arm wrestling champion that like loses to the skinny guy.
Yes,
yeah, like. No way American athletes go into that with like, I have a chance to lose.
Embarrassed. Yeah, that was it. That had to be embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
And I like how they brought 5 people back. That challenge was also interesting. Just fucking hold on to the thing as long as you can.
Yeah.
So then it goes from 20 up to 30, and then they're going to lose 10. So it's going to go back to 20. Oh, I can't wait to see who comes out on top and what more challenges they have in store. What can they do after pulling a fucking 2-ton boat? It's amazing. Good recommend. I'm totally fucking in on this show. I love it.
Squid Game meets the challenge.
It is. It's so perfect. Perfect to tide you over until Squid Game comes back. I also watched The Menu on HBO Max. Fun movie. I liked it. Anya Taylor-Joy is always a joy.
Don't you think that, like, if you were there, you'd be like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, like prontissimo.
Just leave. But it is totally about how critics and people like us, people like aficionados, people who talk shit on Twitter, ultimately ruin the art that the person is trying to make by
but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I mean, the characters they had, it made sense, and it made sense why her character threw him off because she didn't give a fuck, and she was actually one of them.
This is how I feel as a critic, right? If I'm criticizing somebody that's genuinely trying to make art, I usually give them a break.
Right.
If I see just corporate bullshit, then I criticize the fuck out of it because I do think it takes a lot of guts to get out there and and try and create things that are like groundbreaking, whatever. And the movie is like an attack on people who criticize things.
But I think it's specific to the food and the foodie industry because there's so many, just like art. There's so many.
I think it's a filmmaker.
Words.
I think it's about filmmaking too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's using food as an allegory, as like, oh, I used to love to make things, and now I don't want to make them anymore because you guys are you're never happy. You assholes.
Yeah.
So
you don't know what it takes to put together one of these things.
Yeah. People are willing to die for it. The stuntmen hanging from the fucking thing. But I do think it's an allegory, and I do think that it maybe have to do with the food industry as well. But because it's a lot more. Food just exists for like a few minutes before you eat it, and then you shit it out. You know.
Right, and he says that, and like I have always thought about that. I was like, people spend so much time, and we spend so much money putting things in our mouth only to shit it out. Like what we're paying for our shit.
Now, this is an interesting question, Anthony. You're a young dude going out to fancy dancy places, getting cuisine.
Sure.
Like, do you ever come from that experience and genuinely go, I'd rather just have a fucking hamburger or a fucking pastrami sandwich, like, or a pizza than that experience that you went to?
See, I don't do the fancy dancy thing all the time. So most of the time I actually prefer the more low key thing, but so the fancy thing is more of kind of a treat for me.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it's just like an experience of like being there and doing that and having it done. And if you go and you're not like immune to it, and you're just like, oh, I like this is the first time I'm doing this in a month or whatever, then it's fun. But if you're doing it all the time, I don't know if it resonates as much. I would say generally though, I could just have like Chipotle or something,
like
or a burger.
A nice cheeseburger.
I live in New York where like there's fucking all kinds of cuisine, and everybody's, you got to go try this place, whatever. And every single time I've gone, I've been like, it's not that great.
You know,
the fuck is the big deal.
Yeah, but also your personality. When people tell you something's awesome, you hate it. This is a pattern for you with movies and now with cuisine.
Yes, it's true.
I did one time. I took the wife to like a fancy tasting thing, multi-course, tiny fucking portions, and I was like, this edible flour and foam is great, but I'm still fucking hungry. Where's the food? You motherfucker! I paid hundreds of dollars. Where the fuck is the food? So
the last time I went to a fancy place was called Maple and Ash in Chicago.
Okay.
It was actually pretty good.
Okay.
But they actually gave you a lot of food, but it was very high price. The way they market themselves is they give you a menu and it says like a personal message. So it'll say like congratulations on your birthday or something like that. So everyone gets one of those. So it just like makes you feel like, oh, you have this souvenir from the restaurant. I think it's pretty genius marketing. But these places it was 4 guys. We spent like almost $900.
Jesus. I mean, there is something about like a well-cooked piece of beef that's just, high end and done well, even though it's small, it melts in your mouth. It's kind of that's fucking worth the experience. But
yeah, they gave us what was kind of cool about that experience was they gave us a pre-cocktail.
Okay.
So we sat down and they gave us a cocktail that we didn't order. Just like, start off the night.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bliss Place. Here's a cocktail.
Oh, that's fucking fancy.
It was nice.
Palate cleansers. I thought in the movie The Menu, like he was dosing them or something the whole time, and that was
it was going to combine into like a poison.
That's what I thought when he was mad that she wasn't eating everything. Like you had to eat everything for this to congeal. But then when the movie starts to go nuts, it's pretty shocking, and you're like, what the fuck? And it just gets crazier and crazier. It's good, and it's got a good resolution, good ending, satisfying. I would recommend The Menu, but it's very good on HBO Max. Ruggs, what else? You saw something else.
I saw the movie X, which came highly recommended from many people that I've talked to.
I think Gerald Morris said that was the best one of the year.
I disagree, but
best horror movie.
I guess I feel like Nope is better.
Really?
But
interesting.
But I will say that this movie is good. It's about a group of people going to film a porno movie on a farm. And their presence on that farm kind of incites like a kind of slasher movie, if you will.
Okay.
and the cinematography is great.
Ty West is director, writer, producer, editor.
The acting is very good. Everybody who's in the movie, it doesn't feel like a bad movie at all. It doesn't feel like a bad horror movie. It feels like it's just like a really good, nicely filmed, kind of maturely filmed movie.
Okay.
Even though it's about sex and there's a lot of boobs in it, which I do like a lot. But at the end of the movie, I was like, this is good. Very solid film, but I didn't think it was like the best thing since sliced bread. I was like, respectable film. Like I really enjoyed it. But you're talking about, we just saw The Thing, which is also surprisingly really well done and acted and all that stuff. So it's not anything new. I just think that horror films has descended into schlock.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like James Wan and A24 and all this new crop of
Jordan
stuff.
Peele. Yeah.
Yeah. And like The Ring, that were all like, M. Night Shyamalan with what he was doing, that kind of brought like a level of like competence.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's part of that fold.
So you don't think this guy, Ty West, who did everything, is kind of trying to get to one of that kind of position?
I think he could be in the future. I think that, as I said, like, there are some really good, talented horror film directors out there that do really nice stuff. And I think it's just par for the course. I don't think it elevates it more than
Jenna
those people.
Ortega is in this also. Man,
Yeah.
she's everywhere. Now you got to watch Pearl, which is the prequel to.
I heard that one's even better.
Oh, and then there's a sequel titled Maxine with 3 X's. So there's gonna be, it's a trilogy. He's doing here.
It's okay. I mean, I might watch. It was fine. It was
where is that available?
I don't know. I saw it illegally.
Okay. I don't know if it's streaming. I would admit that. He didn't mean that.
I saw it. I saw it at a friend's house.
There you go. My friend, Nefarious Means.
My friend, my evil friend.
Sometimes he says things he doesn't
My
mean.
doppelganger. He doesn't. He didn't take his pills today. It's okay.
Right.
Anything else, Anthony? You watch anything?
No, Physical 100, and then Last of Us and The Thing. That's a pretty full week for me.
That's a pretty full week. Physical 100, new episode drops tomorrow. So every Tuesday, there'll be a new one.
I think there's 2 tomorrow.
Oh,
I think they do them in 2s.
2 at a time?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I know what I'm doing. I got to find out if Chong Sung-hoon makes it through to the next round. I feel like
I like the way he said 1, 2, 3 in Korean. I don't know. I can't really repeat it, but I would have followed that guy. I would have followed that guy to the end of the world.
So is it bad that I'm watching it dubbed?
Are you?
Yeah. It's just how it started playing. And I was like, okay.
You're a sadist. I don't know why you're doing that.
It's fine. It's the dubbing is not the greatest.
I actually bounce between the two.
Really? What do you prefer?
Obviously, if I can pay attention to it while I'm watching it and give it my full attention, I'm going to watch it in Korean, its native language. But if I'm doing other things, I put it on the dub. Yeah.
That makes sense.
They say he's so cool a lot about everybody over and over. This is so cool. He's so cool.
They do say that
over and over again.
They fawn over each other so much.
They do. It's hilarious. Also, the counting in that challenge also very important. Yeah, it had to be in the rhythm. Everybody pushing at once. The only way.
I can't believe you watch it dubbed.
That's just how it started playing, and I was like, okay, I'm watching this now. It's kind of funny. But again, I don't have to read and watch. But even though I have the captions on,
oh my God,
it's just there.
You have the captions on and it's dubbed.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Maybe I'll switch it to Korean when I pick up.
You
on
should
the
at
next
least
episode.
watch a few just to get
I'll
the
watch
general feel.
I'll watch. I'll watch it in Korean from now on.
Dub just makes it like a kind of a kooky experience. Of that.
I was just too lazy to change the fucking setting. I just started, and they're talking.
I can freely bounce back and forth.
Okay, so he bounces back.
You can't pick up a remote and change the setting?
Well, it's already playing, and I know what they're saying. It's fine. Why am I going to switch off?
Like sometimes if I'm exercising while doing it,
quote unquote, my hands were busy. What? Anyways,
I'll listen to the dub version, so I don't have to watch.
I love dubstep. That's why. Okay, that's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy, where I don't know, I'm looking for aliens and shit.
He's conducting his own SETI research facility, search for extraterrestrials. All links in our show notes on our website, jockandnerd.com. Go there to support, to subscribe, to get in touch. You know what
Tell
to
a friend.
do. Tell a friend is the most important
Spread
thing.
the geekery.
If there's one thing that you could do for us, is to spread the geekery to your friends. Get everyone to join the Jock and Nerd Empire.
Act like you're Rihanna and spread it.
Get the dancing sperm to spread out into the... There was a lot of
Hey,
dancing
listen,
sperm.
she was doing a lot of spreading.
There was a lot of spreading.
Part
a
of
lot
your
of
butt cheeks and
She's
everything.
grabbing her ass, a lot of gyrating. Do that
Yeah.
in front of your friends and do one of these.
Jock and Nerd.
And then turn them on to the podcast. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
This is going great.
Get the fuck out!
Get the fuck out.
What?
Jock and Nerd.